I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to our brand new episode of the True North Racing Podcast, presented by Driving with Haley. I'm your host, John Morrison. This week is a very special episode of the True North Racing Podcast. That's right, it is our 2024 Champions episode. So what that means is that we're not going to do a whole lot of opening segment stuff. We're not going to do anything like that. We're going to get straight into it with our guests. We got 5 amazing drivers tonight. They've all won championships, of course, because it's a champions episode. It wouldn't be that if we didn't have that. So the whole goal of this is that they're going to have about 10 to 15 minutes each to tell us about their season, a big high for them, possibly a low. Winning a championship, how could there be a low? But we're going to learn all about their seasons in about 10 or 15 minutes. And then we'll move on to the next driver. So, first up, guys, the drivers tonight on the show, we have Mason Collver, who was the Full Throttle Motor Speedway Thunder Truck Division champion. He'll be up first. Then we are going to be joined by Matt Young, who won the Flamboro Speedway Mini Stock Championship. After that, we will be joined by Jacob Sutcliffe, who was the Sunset Speedway Mini Stock champion. And then we will be joined by Chris Allard, who was the Sunset Speedway Bone Stock champion. And then to finish it off, we'll go back to Trevor Collver, who was the Delaware Superstock Speedway champion. So 5 guests tonight on the show for today on the show, and I hope you guys are excited for this as I am. But let's get in the first driver of the night, Mason Collver. First up in our champions episode, we welcome the Full Throttle Motor Speedway Thunder Truck champion. We got Mason Collver joining us. Mason, how's it going, man?
Good. Thanks for having me on. I'm happy to come talk to you for this episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on because it's I think we had you on earlier this year, if I remember correctly. Was it this year that we had you on?
Yeah, just before the start of the season.
So now we get to talk to you at the end here, which is awesome because you know what that means, that you are a champion. How did your 2024 season go?
It was a super fun year. I learned a lot, and like I said, it went the best it could. Being my rookie year in this division, I had some big goals to compete for a championship in my first year, and we were able to do that. Have a great battle with Jason Vale, and I was able to win it at the end.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, Jason Vale had won quite a few Thunder Truck races up at the Speedway, and he hasn't been beaten out for a while, correct?
Yeah, I believe he won 3 championships in a row, and he went undefeated last year. So it was really important to go dethrone him this year.
That's awesome, man. You know, if I remember correctly, when we talked to you earlier this year, I was rooting for you to go out there to even get a win. I was waiting for you to get a win. Then, of course, next thing I know, you win again. You win again. You win again. How many wins did you walk away with this year?
I believe we won 7 features, and then we also won we run 20 lap features, but at the end of the year, the last 2 weeks, we had a 50 lap memorial race. I got shortened to 40. And then we also had a 50 lap feature championship night for double points in both of them. So, I was able to win both of the longer races, which I really enjoyed and pride myself on. But yeah, we won 7 in total throughout the year.
God damn. That's really impressive. And you were a rookie in the
Thank you.
Thunder Truck division this year, correct? If I remember, I think you were a
I
rookie.
lost you there for a sec.
Was it last year? Damn.
Sorry, can you say that again, John? I lost you for a sec.
It's all good. I feel like this is going to be the story of the night. Uh, was this your rookie season in the Thunder Trucks?
Yeah, it was my rookie year, so we learned a lot and had the best rookie year we could hope for. Everyone was talking to me because there's a few other rookies about if I was excited to compete for rookie of the year and stuff. But to be honest, I was thinking about competing for a championship more than rookie of the year.
And when did that thought process change from, okay, I'm going to win rookie of the year to I got a shot at the championship? When did that thought process change for you?
Uh, to be honest, I'm a confident guy. I'm confident in my abilities and the race car we put on the track. And my dad always said, if you go into a fight thinking you're going to lose, you will. So really, right from when I picked up the truck, the goal was to go race for a championship this year. We always had our goals set high, and we were able to achieve them.
And of course, that, and, walking away with the championship at the end of the year is no easy feat. And that just shows the determination that your team had throughout the season to get the job done. And of course, we got to congratulate you, not only you, but your team for getting the truck ready each week to get back out to the track each week. So, a huge congratulations to everyone that's involved in that team. If I remember correctly, and I'm probably going to be saying this quite a bit tonight, I saw that the truck is up for sale.
Yeah, it is up for sale right now. So we'll see. We've had some messages and some people reach out, but nothing serious so far.
So does that hint at possibly moving up a division next year? Or can we not? Are you going to keep hush hush on your plans for 2025?
They said there's not really any plans yet, but I'm just looking for another new challenge and some new to learn and have a good time racing something else.
That's awesome. It's good to see when drivers want to have that challenge to really push, because we want to see you push the envelope, right? That's each week. So it's good to see that you want to challenge yourself, because of course, winning a rookie of the year and the championship in a single season, no simple feat. You feel like you accomplished everything at that point.
Yeah, I believe so. Like I said, it was great year, competitive field. Like had some great battles with Jason Vale, Tanner Holmes. He's another good buddy. He's competitive. He won a few features. He actually was the first one to beat Jason the second weekend of the year. So shout out to Tanner. Andrew Vale's in the division. He's also a rookie. Had some great times with him and all the other drivers in it.
Yeah, the Thunder Truck division up at Full Throttle has always been definitely one of those fun divisions. And oh, good Lord. To be fair, I loved when the trucks were racing at Delaware on a weekly basis. That was definitely one of the highlights. So, and of course, your family has run trucks in the past. Trevor's recently, moved up from the trucks up to the super stocks. He's a champion now. Luckily, we get to chat with him at the end of this episode. But you're kind of following in that footsteps, which is really nice to see. And in this terms of running the trucks, because like I said, the trucks are one of the coolest divisions. I don't know why they've lost popularity. And, we've talked about this before. I was trying to tell you before, you should have taken your truck out to Peterborough this weekend or something to try to, because I think they were running the trucks out there. So if you're able to, you should have taken your truck out.
Josh, yeah, I would have been the first one lined up in the pits if I could, but I believe the Renegade trucks, weren't racing at all this weekend.
I can't remember.
I I think a few of the other guys, because our trucks are V8s, so we have a different rule package than them. They're on V6s, and a whole bunch of other parts of the rule book is different. But I think a few guys have tried to talk to the track and talk to them about trying to find something to work to allow us to run with them fairly. But I don't think we can reach anything like that. But like I said, I would love to travel and try new tracks and race with the bigger truck field. That would be amazing. But sadly, we couldn't make that work this year.
Yeah, it's yeah, I realized that the Renegade trucks weren't there. Um,
I
no,
was
on
looking
it,
forward to watching them though. I was really looking forward to that because I was at Peterborough this weekend, but didn't get to see them race, which kind of sucked. But it's whatever.
yeah, being at Peterborough definitely was I'm sure it was a great weekend you overall up there though.
Yeah, I had a fun time. It was my first time being at that track. The first day walking around the pits, kind of with no race car to work on or no race car to work, or to drive. I mean, I kind of missed that competitive part of it. And the people I was with, they were bugging me because I was going kind of a little crazy. I couldn't sit still. I'm not used to just walking around the pits like that. But no, it was fun. I got to watch a lot of racing. I got to learn some things. So and have a good time with friends also.
Yeah, that's always the good part is when you're able to go have fun, um, and just be able to hang out with racers and drivers because throughout an entire season, you don't get that chance to really go out and hang out with them. So luckily on like a like Frosttoberfest or um, Autumn Colors, you're able to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I really like that, and I did. I went and I camped and stayed with Tana Holmes, who races in the Thunder Truck division with me. So that was cool. We saw all our other friends there. Flamboro was also a fun time. I was able to race a mini truck at Flamboro this year, actually. So
Right,
that
I
was
saw
fun.
that. And how did that go for you?
Uh, it's kind of up and down. We didn't in practice, kind of we were way off. I was trying to get used to driving the thing again. And then second practice, the first lap, the clutch blew apart and the chain and ripped a bunch of wiring apart and caused a big mess. So we didn't get any real practice, but we fixed it up thanks to everyone in the division, Relou's, the Gertzes, the Sims, Nick Hyde and Edwin Hyde for letting me run the truck. And then the first feature, we went out with some adjustments. There was 13 or 14 trucks, I believe. We started like seventh, and we drove to the front, and we led the rest of the way, and we won. So it's
Hell
good to be
yeah.
back in the mini truck. But the second feature, we had some tough luck. We were involved in an incident early, went to the back. We could keep racing. And then a few laps later, there was another big wreck that we couldn't miss, and it ended our day. But it was fun to hang out with everyone in the mini trucks. I love that division. I love everyone in it. It was a blast hanging out and camping with everyone there as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's definitely been a blast chatting with you. We're about 11 minutes in, which is perfect for us. Um, Congratulations on your championship this year. I hope you enjoy the off season, and I wish you all the best in whatever lies ahead for you in 2025. But before we let you go, for the next few minutes, you can thank all your sponsors, your family, your friends, the track, whoever. But the floor is yours for the next couple minutes.
All right, awesome. Thanks. I appreciate that because can't give enough thanks to all the people that help me and my truck go around and do the thing that I love. So I'll start with some personal thanks. I wouldn't be doing it without my dad, Don Culver, my mom, my brothers, my stepmom, my whole family. Like you said, Trevor will be on later. I would not be even close to where I am in racing if it wasn't for him. He's like a big brother to me almost. He's an amazing role model and mentor. I can ask for anyone better. And I just love watching him kick everyone's butts, and he helps me with everything I do. So big thanks to Trevor. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am. I got to thank his mom, Sue Jones, my Aunt Sue, my cousin Justin, all the Trevor's team, Daryl, Alan, Tanner. I got to thank Marvin Freiberger for all the help he's given me. I got to thank Kenny McNichol. I got to thank Corey McAllister. And I also got to thank all my partners: Don Collver Automotive, Grace Transport, Synergy Composites, AJ DeBruin, Snap-on Tools, JCT Metals, Karis Welding, C. Parrish Heating and Plumbing Inc., Marvin Freiberger and Sons, McNichol Welding and Fabrication, JCT Metals, and the Stickers and Scuffs podcast.
All right, man. Well, thank you. Like I said, thank you so much for joining us this week. Congratulations on your championship, and enjoy your off season.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me on. Like I said, this was part of the goal was so I could come back and talk to you again at the end of the year. So happy I was able to do that and talk to you tonight. Thank you.
No problem, man. I hope to see you at a racetrack next summer. Okay.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully, it was
All right.
something new.
Hey, you're gonna have to keep me in the loop. All right, everyone. That's been Mason Collver. Next up, we got the Flamboro Speedway mini stock champion. We got Matt Young joining us. All right, next up, like I promised you guys, we got Matt Young, who won the Flamboro Speedway mini stock championship this year. Matt, how are you doing?
Oh, just getting in the door about half an hour ago from work, and out in the shop as always.
How did you go up to Peterborough this weekend for Autumn Colors, or did you hang back home?
No, we went up there. We got up there Thursday afternoon and got back late last night.
Oh man, how was the weekend up there for you?
It's a great experience to be. A lot of good guys up there. We brought up 4 cars with us. Crewed and helped for a bunch of other guys, and partied the nights away.
Sounds like a great time. Me and the wife are kind of going back and forth whether or not we should go up there for a day. It looks like we missed a hell of a time by all the pictures and storylines everyone was posting. So I'm glad to hear you had a good time up there.
Yeah, it was well worth the drive. I mean, to be up there for, I guess, 4 or 5 days we were up there is a long time. There's a lot of sitting around and waiting, and hurry up and waiting, obviously through Friday and Saturday, and Sunday's a blast, right? Just gives us more time to hang out, right?
Exactly. But the reason why we got you on here tonight is because you are the 2024 Flamboro Speedway Mini Stock champion winner. First of all, you had one hell of a year in the mini stock division. I can't tell you how many times I saw Matt Young at the top of the board. How was your 2024 season for you?
Well, it was. We've been doing this for probably 12 years now. We didn't race much last year, and 12 years. This was by far, obviously, the best season we've had. We've never really been top 5 in points. We have not been a contender in the last 12 years. When we ran pure stocks, we won a bunch of races, but with 8 years of mini stocks, we were never on the top of the board. We were never top 5. We were never winning races. We weren't even somebody to talk about, right? So obviously this big old girl in the back here, we've been running the last few years, and it didn't do us well. We spent a lot of money and a lot of time and had a lot of great people in the car, and it wasn't enough, right? So obviously we made some changes this time last year at Autumn Colors. We went down there with 3 cars and we came home with 4. Funny enough, right? So
funny how that happens, eh?
Yeah, the deal kind of fell together. Obviously, the Integra's not in here; it's still in the trailer. That was obviously Nolan Gould's original car from last year and the previous years, and he had a rocket ship, and the deal kind of fell together. That him and I got talking, and here it is. Right?
That's awesome, man. But before we continue, I do want to talk about that car that's behind you, because I have had so many questions about it for years.
Yep.
Ever since I saw it first roll out onto the track. Can you please explain that car behind you? What is it even? I gotta know.
Well, it started out as a 2006 Chevy Cobalt. We built that 5 or 6 years ago. My dad and I, in a little 10x20 garage, we built it. Then we got in a couple bad wrecks, and then I went to Carl Saltz, and Carl cut everything out of it and redid the whole car. Got it better. 2 years ago, I think Frostfest, or 3 years ago. Frostfest has never been nice to me. We stuffed it in the wall in practice for the whole front end, the whole back end. So I went on the jig to Jimmy Lowenberg, and we ended up with the front clip, brand new front clip, brand new rear clip. The front end is a little unappealing to what I wanted, but I mean, it looks different. It's cool. It works for the geometry and the dynamic, and it's definitely a head turn, right? I've never been known to go with the pace. I like being a little different and being out of the box. So I mean, it gets people talking, right?
Absolutely. It's been one of those things that, you know, you see it coming one way, it looks like a late model. And I'm going to be honest, when I see it going, I'm like, it looks like a mini truck. Yep. So like half the time I forget that it's your car that I see passing me because of the two different looks it's given me.
Of course.
But that is still one of the, I'll say it, funkiest cars I've seen. I love it being that you decided to do that to be a little bit different.
No, I appreciate it. It was a little funkier before. Carl is a wizard when it comes to bodies and geometry and race cars. Obviously, he's done very well over the last 15, 20 years. And so we kind of transformed the back end in the middle a little bit more back towards the cobalt, and then the front has kind of stayed as a late model in those, right? So
yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
If anybody wants a funky race car, the order's going in this week. It's for sale. I'll be cheap with it. So.
Well, why don't we throw an ad out? How much you looking to get for it?
Oh, I haven't even thought about it yet. I got way too much money in this car, and obviously we'll never see the return again because it's not a front runner, obviously, right? So it's I mean, it's got all the good parts and all the go fast parts, and there was no money ever spared in this car, right? So it's I mean, there's gonna be an ad coming in the next couple of weeks, right? So, and we'll see, right? It's a shame. I really don't want to let it go because, again, we built the car from the ground up, and I was always the built not bought kind of guy. Now I'm kind of the bought and won a championship, right? So as funny enough as it is, right?
Yeah, but you got yourself a pretty top notch car there, Nolan Gould's old car there.
We kind of fell into the deal. We didn't go there expecting to buy anything or talk about it, and we got it home when we bought it, and right out of the box, it was fast, obviously. And over the winter, we did some tweaks, and throughout the summer, I had a lot of good guys help me. Obviously, Rodney Rutherford and Carl Salt; those are the two of the best guys with the Integras. And Dylan Sharp in there, he supplies us with a lot of parts and a lot of knowledge. And Levine Motorsports, he is the king of Integras, right? So, we've changed a bunch in the car, not a lot, but a bunch, enough that we've noticed the difference from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. It's I mean, it's paid off, right?
Absolutely. Can't go wrong, with that. What I want to know real quick is how many races did you end up actually winning this year?
So personally, I won 6 races in the car. Rodney drove it for one night. We were away at Darien Lake, so he finished first. First time ever in the car. And then the second race, I believe he was second, and I believe it was behind Bobby. So we were up to 7 wins, which is fantastic, right?
Hey, nothing wrong. It helped you win a championship, right?
Yeah, we, again, we were fortunate enough where, as much as Mike Gilman and I don't get along, I'll give him a lot of credit where he had the car to beat all year. He was very fast out of the box, and he wasn't as consistent as we were. He got into some crap and some DNFs and obviously some do not starts where, we weren't even talking about winning a championship or being in contention. Obviously, when you got Mike Gilmore, Mike Thompson, Bobby Mercer, any of those 3 guys, if they're on the track, they're fast, right? And I mean, Mike obviously won the championship last year. Bobby won the championship with us the year before, right? So we know we had a lot of people to beat this year, right? And I mean, I didn't expect to come out and win it by no means. And then I think the end of June, we were sitting top of the points list, and we just stayed there, right? We had a lot of good luck. We had no bad nights. We finished top 2 basically every night. I think our worst finish was 4th. That was one of the nights we had like 14 or 15 cars. But again, we had no gremlins, nothing break. We finished every race. It was by far the best year, right?
Absolutely. And of course, when you look at that top 4, like you said, Bobby Mercer, Mike Gilmore, Mike Thompson, yourself, I can't tell you how many times I went to Flamboro this year, and the races I saw you guys run, y'all were typically nose to tail the entire race.
Yeah.
Which is a heck of a show to watch.
It is, yeah. Yeah, even with, again, obviously we have, most nights.
You get incidences, you get run-ins.
Yeah. And I mean, most nights we have 8 to 10 cars, which it's unfortunate, obviously, right? But to see, 3/4 of the field, let's say, run like nose to nose and basically the same lap times it's a good feeling for the fans to watch, right? You don't want to go watch one guy out there and swamp the field every week, right? And I mean, we'll even throw obviously Kate Wallace in there, and she's been down to 17.7s here. She's fast, right? She's they keep the motor together and the setup a little bit better. She'll be up there with us too, right? And I mean, she's always a contention, right? So
absolutely, I think she finished 5th consistently all year, and that's nothing to even be to scoff at either, because she wasn't far behind you. She was enough, but not enough to really, to really. She was always there, and if any of you guys had a bad night, she could be hanging out right there with y'all.
100%, right? Which is, again, it's good for her to see, right? She's come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, her and I are obviously pretty good friends now. Before we hated each other. I mean, we've always made that clear, and I think over the last 3 years we've come, pretty tight, obviously, right? So it's good to see her do well. And I think it was last year, the year before, she finally got her first win, and she's just been consistent, right? So
absolutely, it's great when we see storylines like that as well. So overall, this is where I'm going to be. I feel like it sucked is that our championship night at Flamboro got rained out this year. So technically, you guys didn't even run the 21st either. So unknowingly, your last race of the year was the 14th of September.
Yeah, I believe it was the 14th of September. Yeah.
Yeah, because unknowingly knowing that you were winning the championship that night, how did it feel for you to cap off the season the way you did?
Well, we were looking very forward to championship night. We felt very confident, obviously, right? We knew even I think 2 or 3 weeks, even closer to 4 weeks before that, we just basically had to finish every race, keep our nose out of shit, pardon my language, obviously. Keep our nose out of stuff, right, and just finish the race and obviously make sure nothing happened. I think by the 14th, when our last race was, we were like 80-something points ahead of second place, right? So we were looking very much forward to championship night. Obviously, to party and celebrate. We were set up there with the campers and a whole bunch of friends there, and had a speech prepared for Victory Lane because we were going to Victory Lane in one of the races. I didn't care how. I wanted that picture. Obviously, to cap off the season, right? But I mean, it was a good year, obviously, right? It was it's again by far the best season we had, right? It's crazy, right? And again, beginning of the year, we definitely did not think we'd be in contention at the end of the year, right? And here we are.
Exactly, right. And you know what? Do you have that speech memorized by chance? Because I would love to hear it, so that way you were able to do that speech now.
Well, I mean, kind of yes and no. We kind of had it together, and then I kind of threw it away out of my head, and there was some stuff in there I probably shouldn't have said. And it was me being a little cocky, and but obviously very appreciative. And I mean, again, it was going to be the biggest thing about thanking the people that have been with us all year. And again, we got a lot of good guys. Again, Dylan Sharp, Carl Salt, Rodney Rutherford. My wife is there every week with us. My dad's there every week with us. My father-in-law, Jack, he's in the shop all week working on this thing. And obviously the sponsors, this is our first year with sponsorship from, a lot of good guys came in for the last, again, 10 years, 12 years of racing. It's all been out of my pocket. And this year we were able to bring some sponsorship money up, and we sponsored a lot of cars. I think we were like 6 or 7 or 8 cars we sponsored this year because obviously Blue Street Contract was my company. So we wanted to help out a lot of people. But I mean, yeah, Victory Lane, it would have been me being cocky. That's for sure. It's probably a good thing we didn't get to have the speech, right? But I mean, hey, you gotta, I guess you have the right to be a little cocky, right? At the end of the year, right? So it's
exactly because the whole season came together, and it's time for you to be able to kind of go, haha, I did it, right? Like that. So being a little cocky in a championship kind of speech, ain't nothing to be wrong. You should be, because you
That's
beat everyone.
exactly right. So it's, but I mean, obviously it's a good feeling, right? So
Absolutely. Um, what are your off-season plans looking like for this year before you go to next year?
well, we're gonna take a break. Um, this car, we're gonna put the motor back in it, and again, it's gonna go for sale. The our championship car is going to the storage shop on the weekend, and I don't even want to see it till January. I was kind of disappointed with our finishes at Frostfest and Autumn Colors, and me and the car are on a little bit of bad terms right now. I'm kind of grumpy with her. But I mean, for the off season, we're just gonna kind of hang out and have some fun again. And the championship race points, every week is a long season. I think we were scheduled for 18 or 19 nights of points racing, and then we had obviously Autumn Colors and Frostfest, and we hit up Sunset Spring Velocity beginning of the year. Did pretty well there. We were fourth. But it's a lot of toll, right? And I mean,
Oh yeah.
everybody knows the wins are one in the shop, and again, we proved that this year by having zero mechanical failures and zero issues, and it is a lot of season, right? And again,
Oh
obviously, I
yeah.
own companies, so between that and working on the car and family, and it was a long year, right? And it was a very long year, so it's the winter's going to be time to relax and just hang out, right?
That's awesome to hear, man. Well, I want to let you, for the next couple minutes, thank your family, your friends, your sponsors, anyone who you want to thank to help you throughout your championship campaign. The floor is yours for the next couple minutes. Thank everyone who you want to.
Yeah, obviously the two biggest guys or three biggest guys that have been in my corner this year again is Carl Salt. I'll mention him as many times as I can because he's a wizard on these cars. And if we're not at work or we've been in the car, and there's been many nights where he's come over late and done some valve adjustments and whatever I needed and parts and any advice, right? Jack Johnston, father-in-law, of course, man, professional mechanic of 50 years, best guy in the business. Made sure we're on the track every week. No mechanical failures again. Through the car 4 or 5 times a week. My dad there every week. Whatever we needed, he was in there. Didn't matter if he had to crawl in the back seat of the car and use the toothbrush to clean it. He was in there, right? It's my wife Jenna, obviously letting us do what we can do. It's been a heck of a year. We started out racing Friday nights in the dirt. Didn't like that, so that went away. Every Saturday at Flamboro, my kid races micro sprints on Thursday nights, right? So she puts up with a lot. I give her the biggest credit of it all, right? I'm not an easy person to deal with by no means, right? So kudos to her. Rodney Rutherford, he's a hell of a wheel man, hell of a help. Dylan Sharp provides us with a lot of parts and knowledge. I got guys that come with me every week. Brandon's been there a couple of times. He's a hell of a guy to be there. Bobby in the pits. We've even had Spencer Riddle's crew come down and help us. They were a big help at Autumn Colors this year. And then obviously the sponsors, right? Blue Street Contracting obviously gets the big bill for everything. McGinty Tolman Electric. They're based out of Hamilton, one of the best electricians you can find. Greg's Plumbing and Heating. Levine Motorsports and Icon Air Parts. It's been a hell of a year, right? And hopefully we can get them all back on board next year. I'm sure after the incredible year we've had with them, they're going to be back. I hope and pray. Every dollar helps, right?
Absolutely.
Of course. And then obviously Flamboro and John Caselli, Frank Caselli giving us a place to play every week. We were kind of on bad terms last year with John Caselli, and most people know the story and how that goes and why we weren't there. And, we're back, and, you go from, again, me being cocky, me being suspended to winning a championship. And it's a great feeling, right? So hopefully we can push forward. And, John and I are on really good terms now. I talk to him probably once a week, and, we're going to try and go back-to-back champions next year. That's obviously going to be tough, right? Again, with Mike Thompson, I know there's some up in the air with what Mike Gilmore's doing, but we'll have Bobby Mercer back there full time again. His car is getting rebuilt. We were unhappy with that car, but I mean, you got guys again like Mike Thompson, Mike Gilmore, Bobby Mercer, Kate Wallace. Rory's been getting better, right? There's a lot of guys to compete with, right? So it's tough, right? And I mean, a lot of people have said, well, you only have 6 or 8 cars, 10 cars. That's easy to win a championship and easy to win races. Well, you still have to put in the work, and you still got to be there when it matters, right? So it's
Exactly.
it's good, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You do have to put in the work regardless of how many cars are in the field. And, I'd love to see more cars at Flamboro Speedway. I think the track works well for a mini stock. And like I said, you guys put on a hell of a race each and every week. It's no one's out there just whooping the field. You guys are always nice and tight, really competitive, and some really good finishes this year.
Yeah, I think Flamboro, in my opinion, again, we traveled outside of the box this year with the Sunset, and that's a hard track to race. That's, in my opinion, that's a 1-lane track. Peterborough is, man, that's a hell of a track to race. You get hung on the outside, you're toast there, right? But
oh yeah,
Flamboro, everybody says there's only 1 lane at Flamboro, but that's completely wrong, right? We made the outside work a lot this year, and you can get out there and trust your right side tires. You can race 2 lanes, right? It's a good place to be. I mean, the competition obviously isn't as what it used to be, where we were getting 15, 20 cars every night. But I mean, the Pierce stocks, man, they got 40 cars. So hopefully a couple of guys jump up from there and come play with us, right? And I mean, we'll always help anybody if they need help and tires, whatever they need, right? We'll give advice, and hopefully we see, 10, 12 cars next year consistently, right?
Absolutely. It would be nice to see a nice bigger car count in the mini stock division at Flamboro Speedway. But Matt, thank you so much for taking the time out of your night to chat with us. Enjoy your off season. Enjoy your championship. Again, thank you so much for chatting with us tonight. No problem. Next up on our championship episode, we are going to have Jacob Sutcliffe, who is the 2024 Sunset Speedway mini stock champion. Joining us in our third spot on the champions episode, we got the 2024 Sunset Speedway mini stock champion. We got Jacob Sutcliffe joining us. Jacob, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, my man. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's great when we're able to sit down and chat with champions at the end of the year, because we really get to dive into what y'all have been up to for the year. So, without further ado, how was your 2024 season?
I felt like it went pretty well, start to finish. We were really focusing on consistent finishes. I went into this year, to be honest with you, not thinking that I really had a shot at it. There's some pretty stout competition at Sunset, and I was going to be happy to walk away with. I finished 5th in points last year, and I figured that was roughly where we'd end up. And we had the spring velocity win, which I think gave me a lot of confidence, because Sean Taylor is obviously one of the best in Ontario, and to be able to luckily get by him on the outside and take that one home, it was a big confidence boost for me, and it helped a lot. And I think the key to it was just consistency all year. I only had one finish outside the top 5 all year at Sunset, and that was, it was towards my crew and the guys who work on my car and guys who help me, do the work week in and week out. And just our maintenance program, I think too, was huge and a big part of it. And I think minus our 3 stops at Flamboro, we had motors hold together all year, so we were really happy with it. So happy with my brother too. He was got his first heat win this year, and it's always a helpful hand when my brother starts doing well, because it means I got to start trying to do better. So
I love it. Yeah, your brother getting out there, picking up a heat win, which is success, which is really good for him. And of course, but it sucks when you go out there and blow 3 motors at Flamboro, especially when one was that the first night. Like, did you blow a motor that first night?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. You went out for the first feature, and we on our motors we have lash caps, and we have to lash the valves on them. And I think by like a misview on my part of it, when the lash caps came off and it dropped the valve down, and it sounded like an AK-47 going down the backstretch. And I think it was Blaze's window too. Unfortunately, he passed me on the outside at Sunset, which is kind of even more of a kick. But it started going off, and I pulled off the track. Randy came over, helped me get back together. We went out, and it just wasn't right. It was just hurt. So then we sent it back out, and Randy does our motors. He does an absolutely phenomenal job with them. And it's usually, again, on my part, a lack of maybe some of it's just like looking over some stuff, and I shouldn't be. But we found out the hard way this year, and we're going to change that for next year. But yeah, like it was Randy builds us some really good motors, and we're lucky enough to have them all sit together, or for the most part sit together, I guess. But
I was gonna say apparently Flamboro was the sour point in the season.
Yeah.
But you did go out to Sunset, you did compete full time, and you walked away with the championship. Along the way, you picked up numerous top 5 finishes. I can't, and I feel bad because I screwed up and I didn't keep track like I should have. I started losing track at one point. I know you picked up at least 2 feature wins this year, correct?
yeah, we got 2 points night feature wins, and then we picked up one of the features in the Lincoln Cup. We finished. I won the second.
Yes.
One of that. So
now, obviously, winning the Lincoln is just a strictly invitational race, right? There's no points to you guys for that.
No, there were show-up points last year, but Spencer took that out for this year, which I think was really good for drivers as well, because it's intimidating to walk into an event. Like I personally am intimidated walking into an event like that, and but to not have show-up points and not have people wreck their stuff if they're worried about it was big for Sunset and for their promotional team as well, I think. So
yeah, I don't agree when there's always show-up points. Because sorry, we're gonna go off track here. I know Flamborough back in the day, at one point you still had show up points, even though the championship had been crowned, but you still had to show up to Frosttoberfest for an extra, I think it was 30 show up points.
wow.
So if you didn't go to Frosttoberfest and you were 15 points ahead of second place, there was a chance you could have lost the championship, even though they announced you the championship. They've already posted you were the championship and everything like that.
Wow, I had no idea. Like that would drive me bonkers.
I know that was one of the only reasons why one of the guys I crewed for, David Elliott, back in the day, he ran one of the Frosttoberfest, was because there were still show up points.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sure they've pulled that since.
Yeah,
because
I think so. I hope so. But
I don't agree with that. I've never agreed with that. But regardless, no, I do like it when there's no show up points, because then it just does make it a complete invitational. You're not going to mess with someone's, season. You're strictly going for the cash for that one.
Yeah.
Where did you end up finishing overall though for the Lincoln?
So I finished third, which was really good. My car is actually Alan Lincoln's old car. So
okay.
Yeah, so the whole event is it's really cool. It's really special for me because I get to take a piece that we bought off Alan and try and win his event with it. And we were leading the points going into the last feature, and I think 6 laps in I was passing for 5th or something like that. And the guy on the outside came down and cut my right front. So then we went in the pits, and I drove all the way back up to I think 7th. We just gotten back in trouble with lap traffic, and then I got spun coming to the checkers, and that we were. I think the funniest part of the whole event was that Blaze won it, right? Blaze won the Lincoln, and I'm sitting backwards, backwards on the front stretch, and Blaze pulls in. He waves me from victory lane. And he's now won the event. He's won the 3rd feature. And he's waving at me going, aha, sucker, I won this time. So we still have a pretty good laugh about that. But yeah, I ended up finishing 3rd, which I was really happy with some of the best, mini-stock competition. And in Ontario coming up to Sunset, I was pretty happy with that, I would say, after. But we ended up finishing 3rd.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. And that's a great story. I had no clue that you getting spun at the finish line there, and then Blaze just waving at you. That's a great story. That's awesome.
It's pretty funny to look back on now, but I was pretty angry with him.
That's just like adding salt to the wound right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. He's giving poured a whole salt shaker on my arm, and
oh boy. But like I said, you had numerous top 5s. I think more than I could really even count. And of course, picking up 2 feature wins, you were definitely very consistent week in and week out, which is so hard to do.
Yeah.
In any division, is being consistent, and you and your team definitely showed that this year. For you, what was the biggest highlight of the season? Besides championship night, because I know
championship night was a lot of fun. That was definitely a highlight. It's hard to choose. So the first feature one was the one where me and Sean battled for it, and it's when I tell you, if I'm having a bad day, I watch the pedal power video of that. I'm not even kidding you. It brings a lot of it. But my second feature win, my parents were actually going away to Vegas, and I got a new form of like strep throat or something on Tuesday or Thursday. So like Thursday, Friday, I think it was actually we were coming back after putting another motor in my car for blowing up Flamboro the week before.
Damn Flamboro.
Yeah. It's honestly it's funny at this point now that it's the season's all said and done. But so I think me and Dad put the motor in Wednesday night. We were just about done Wednesday night. I think I had like carb, like some small stuff to put back on. But like Thursday I was bedridden, Friday I was bedridden, and my parents left for Vegas Friday morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning. So my mom came downstairs. She said, "Yeah, we'll see you." I said, "Don't even come here, Mom. I'm still sick." But Katie, my sister, took me out to get antibiotics. Anyways, we ended up getting myself a little bit better. We go out Saturday, and I'm like popping 2 Advil, two of the antibiotics before we go out for the feature, right? Because I'm starting to feel like crap again. I as the phone call to my mom and dad was hilarious after because they went to go see Garth Brooks, and my dad was watching Race Monitor on his phone, right? So I'm leading the race, and there's like 7 laps to go, and the lady won't let him bring his phone into the show because there aren't a lot of phones in the show. So
oh no!
My mom, they're for their 25th wedding anniversary. So my mom's like, "Tim, put the phone away. We're going to see Garth. Like, put the phone away. You'll find out when we get back out, right?" So my dad said, he's like, "I'm having a hard time enjoying the show, right? Like, I have a couple drinks, me and your mom are having fun, we're dancing and everything." He goes, "But like 7 laps to go and you're leading." So anyways, he didn't even like a race more. He calls me after, we'd won. So we were celebrating as a team. And he goes, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Dad, I left you like 4 voicemails. Like, we won the feature. Like we won the race tonight." He goes, "I freaking knew." Looks at the picture. Looks at my mom. He goes, "He won. He won." He goes, "I only had 7 laps left, and I could have enjoyed that whole concert." So that whole experience was definitely a highlight as well, right? Because it was just fun phone calls. My brother was off at a shutdown in Chatham, so he he broke his finger that night in Chatham, and he calls me. And he's in the hospital. It's a whole night, John. I'm telling you. He calls me. He's in the hospital, and he goes, "Yeah, you're never gonna believe what happened. I broke my finger at work today." I said, "You're never gonna guess what happened at Sunset tonight." He goes, "What?" I said, "Well, like I won the feature tonight." And I can hear him smack his hand off the table and go, "Ow!" This is the greatest night of my life. This is so fun. Just the whole night.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a highlight as well. But I would say the all 3 feature ones were really special, but those 2 are definitely highlights. So.
You know what? That is such a killer. I mean, you got great stories from this year.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Man, I wish I didn't screw up earlier this year. Now could have had you on for a full hour. God damn. Man, we're gonna like I said, we'll get you on early on next year. No, honestly, and then of course you going out there championship night, picking up, getting told you're the champion. How did that feel for you when you found out? Like, I can't remember the points battle going in. Did you have a secure lead for that or no?
I was going to championship night. I was 46 or 48 points ahead. So I think I had to finish within the top 4 because in our heat rates you basically get points in the top 5 in the heats, and then after that you don't get any points. We have 1 heat race when we go on the features, so you get for first place you get 5th, and then as it goes down, it's a whole point system. But I had to get a point in the heat race. I think if 24 cars showed up, which 18 of us did, I had to finish 17th or something like that. Or it was still I had to compete. Like I couldn't just kind of sit back, relax, have a beer, and watch the night go on, and still bring the car as a champion after. So, but I went out, and the guy who I was competing with, I don't remember if he won or if he finished second. is Cameron McGlashan, who's one of the best at Sunset in a mini stock. He's
Oh, yeah.
really talented. He went out. I think he finished first or second in his heat race. It made me nervous right away because I started at the back of my heat. So I think I ended up finishing fourth. Then we went out for the feature, and I finished. I think it was fourth or fifth in the feature. And I kind of just the last 3 nights I kept finding myself in pockets where I could kind of ride around on my own. Like the leaders would be battling, there'd be a battle for, like, say I was in third, there'd be a battle for fourth and fifth. I could just kind of hem in third and kind of do my thing. And so championship night, I think I was running third or fourth, and we take the last lap, and I mean, being a young dumb gentleman, I started celebrating in 1 and 2, and I came out throwing my hands up in the air, and I make the turn, and I come out of 1 and 2, and the car got loose, so I was saving the car, and then I go down the back stretch. Anyways, ended up finishing in fourth, and just the experience of doing it all, and then we pull a tech lane, and we still have championship tech, right?
Yep.
But over the last few years, they've done, like, Sunset's done all the tech, and then they bring everything back out. And you're doing it, you're talking with Brendan, and there's nobody in the grandstands. It's just you and your family.
Yeah.
The really cool thing this year was that they basically were able to get through, I think, the first 3 divisions for the end of season tech. And then the last, I would say, 5 of the divisions that were there, we all had to go out, we celebrated as a champion, and then you came back through and you got torn down for your championship, right? So it was a lot of fun. Like, we knew that our car was good. We knew we were clean. We don't cheat. Like, there's nothing we were really worried about, right?
Yeah.
We're celebrating everything, but in the back of your mind, it's always, Brig, like, what part of the rule book did I not read when we were building this car, right? Like, we were, rookies coming in and young, and it's only my second full-time year, right? So we were a little bit on our toes. We celebrated. We had a lot of fun in Victory Lane, and, good chat with Brendan, and we came back in, celebrated. It was an unbelievable night. We had pretty much everybody who's ever touched the car, helped the car, been around the shop, given me a pep talk from the grandstands before. Like, it was, anybody who was there was there. I think Jason Shaw said that there was 25 of us in Victory Lane or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was really special. Everybody came down the pits, had a drink after, and we it's unbelievable. I'll never forget it. I'll never ever forget it. So.
That's awesome, man. When I found out that you were the champion, I was super proud of you.
Thank you.
Being a part of Joe Media Promotions, we do feel special a lot. Like, we feel like you deserved it. All year we watched you grow. We watched the speed. It sucked whenever you came to Flamboro because you just apparently your car doesn't like Flamboro. But
hopefully that changes next year.
I'd love to see that change for next year because I'd love to hopefully be somewhere where you win. But no, being able to watch you all year, like I find as doing what we do, I watch a little bit closer.
Yeah.
And to be able to watch those, like I go in every now and then, and when I'm doing the weekly recaps, I'll sit there and I'll go, okay, Jacob finished first. What was his lap times like? And I would go in and look at your lap times.
Yeah.
Or or someone next week, I'm like, oh, how do they do? Because I feel like if I understand a little bit more on the timing, like, and of course it helps with a little bit with the positioning that they show.
Yeah.
It really helps to see how the night progressed for you. And to be able to watch you all year man, hell of a job all year.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I can tell you, between me, Megan, Brandon Feeney, we're all super proud of you, man. We're huge congratulations to you, your family, on the championship. Before we let you go, you're going to have the floor for the next few minutes to thank everyone and anyone. So don't feel like you left someone out, because you take your time and make sure you thank your sponsors for helping you get throughout the season.
I will. We were talking about this earlier. I haven't written down this time. I hope not, at least. So.
All right, man. The floor is now yours for the next few minutes.
Thank you. So I want to say a special thank you to my crew. the guys who support us, come to the shop, work on the cars, come to the tracks, spend our Saturday nights. They're, all their stuff with us. So those names are Mr. Terpstra, John Terpstra. We call him Terp. I want to thank my mom, especially. She puts up with me and Dad's crap talking racing at every single meal with Wyatt. So I want to thank her especially. I want to thank my dad, of course. It's always been a goal of mine to be on the same echelon I would feel as a driver. You won a championship at Sunset, so to feel like there and to see how proud he was of me a couple of times was really special. But I want to thank him for all his hard work and dedication to our program. I want to thank my brother. He pushes me all the time, and it's a lot of fun to race with him. Stephen Deputer, Matthew Jantz, Joel McDonough, Cameron Bowers, Mason Jantz, and Sarah Ufkis. They're all massive parts of our program. They put in tons of time, and there's not a single one of them without them that we'd be here by now. So I want to thank all of them. I want to thank the Shaw family: Jason Shaw, Dale Shaw, Lee Shaw, Katrina Shaw, Sam Shaw, even little Peyton. They're awesome people to be around, with the exception of Blaze because he's always busting the butt. So no, they're tons of fun. So I want to thank all of them. They've been a huge part of it. I want to thank the Maltese family as well, with Paul and Sue and Connor. They were awesome to us this year. We parked beside them for out of the year, and just their constant encouragement was awesome. Like, it was, again, a huge help, huge confidence booster. Paul Maltese, who's a multi-time champion at Sunsets, won a ton of features. Kicked my dad's butt a little bit back in the day. For him to come over and shake my hand from time to time and say, "Man, you're really doing a good job and you're driving well," and for Connor to kind of bust my butt too, and have some fun with him, and the encouragement, watching him and Sue for everything she does for us as well. I want to thank them. They were a huge part as well. I actually want to thank SKLD Motorsports as well. The Willman crew, they're amazing people to be around. So I want to thank them as well for supporting us and having our back, and again, getting my butt in gear sometimes when you need to be. I want to thank my amazing sponsors: Auto Tech Service Center in Mississauga, 24/7 Auto Collision, Macmillan Motorsports, Jomo Media, of course, you guys were awesome all year, and Stickers and Scuffs with Cam K and Graydon. Just everything everybody does for this race program, it's really special to me. It means an awful lot, and for all you guys to show some belief in us, and it's always a bit of a confidence boost when you look at your car and there's names on it. So it means a lot for you all to support us. So thank you all very much.
All right, man. Well, Frick wasn't being weird. It wasn't ready for that one. You did great though, man. That was awesome.
Thank you.
No, man, you did a hell of a job all year. You deserve this. I don't think there's anyone who may be more deserving of the being the champion in the mini stocks in 2024 other than you. But
thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us tonight, man. It's been a pleasure. Like I said, I wrote you down already here. Guest list is already working in here. First name Sutcliffe.
That's awesome.
I got to get my list going because next season's gonna be here before I'm ready. Yes. So I got to get ready, get going now. But enjoy your off season. Thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Have a good one. All right, joining us now for the final guest of the night, we got Trevor Collver. Trevor won the Super Stock division down at Delaware Speedway. Trevor, how's it going, man?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How was your 2024 season?
You don't get to say it often, but it was a dream season for us. We had a absolutely incredible run from the start to the end. I've mentioned this to my parents, my wife, my brother, my pit crew. When you look back at the season, we really hit every big night that we could have at Delaware that we raced in. So we raced just in the Delaware Weekly Series. I've been traveling since the Ontario Touring Series has been out. It was started off McCall Racing Enterprises Super Stocks for a quick 3-race series in 2020 for an unofficial championship. And then 2021 to 2023 was quick. And then this year is the Dayco Series, and we've traveled in it every year until this year. We decided to just stay at home at Delaware, and we started by winning the first race of the season. We won both 50-lap races of the season. We had our Pack the Track Trevor Collver fan night where I was fortunate enough to bring 740 fans, friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, whatever out, and we were able to win that night. And then we were able to win the last night of the season to cap off just an incredible run, and a couple more along the way. So, I mean, every big race that we could have won in the year that we ran, we won. So it's pretty incredible to say the least.
Absolutely. You know, I was actually there opening night and saw you get that win. And of course, being on the pit side is a little different than being up at the grandstands, but still it's good when you can set a tone like you did on the first night, you know, going out there and winning. Can clearly set a tone, and obviously it did.
Yeah.
And you said you brought 740 people.
Yeah, we
to Pack the Track.
Yeah, my wife and I have worked at this for years. She started the idea in 2018. We were at a cottage with a couple of friends on summer vacation, and she's on her laptop. So, what are you doing? Oh, I'm making a night where we invite all of your friends and family, and we're going to have all your family and friends there. It's going to be a good night. I was like, oh, okay. That's a good idea. And then I got on my phone and we worked together, and I think we got around 150 or 200 people out the first night. And then every year it just kept growing and growing. And this year we sold 740 tickets to friends, family, sponsors, neighbors, coworkers, just everyone we know, really. And lots of people from the community support us. And we raised some money for a mental health awareness campaign that's near and dear to our hearts. We're all from Lucan, and that's where this foundation is, the Nick Smith Memorial Foundation. And we got them on board, and everyone really likes supporting everyone in the community. And we had a ton of fun, a big night. My good buddy Jason Wilds from Wilds Printing made a cardboard cutout of me. So there's a picture wall up top where you could stand beside me and get your picture. And one of my sponsors stole it before the night was done. It was a lot of fun. I mean, seeing all those fans there, and we probably had 100 people in Victory Lane when we won the race. It was a pretty cool night.
That is awesome, and I'm going to be honest. I've loved the idea of the Pack the Track night. I've seen you do it. I've seen Ray Morneau do it, and I've seen it. I think Jennifer Hatch has done it this year as well.
Yep.
It's really nice to see a program like that where you guys can, you're essentially saying like, hey, here's a night, we're celebrating us, come on out. And I think that's such a cool idea. And I feel a lot of tracks could do something like that to sell to drivers, to bring in more fans, friends, family, anyone, kind of like exactly what you guys are doing. So I applaud you guys. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's like I said, it's a lot of fun. It's another little extra nudge to get some of those people to come that maybe they wouldn't come on a regular basis. And so the high school I went to, Medway High School, just outside of London, it's kind of like a big Medway reunion for people my age, for my dad, and people his age, and everywhere in between. So there's so many people just from around the area that are all there. Like everyone within about 100 kilometers of that high school or kind of the area all get together and have a big party. It's just a lot of fun, and it's amazing how many every year. I feel like we probably get between, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20. Like of all those people, it doesn't seem like a lot, but probably 10 to 20 like fans that'll come back for at least like maybe 3 or 4 more races throughout the year, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but like that's a lot of commitment for people to give up the Friday nights on the weekends. But there's a good amount of people that they really get hooked on after they see it and make a bit of connection. And all it takes too, I'm sure you know, all it takes is getting one of your sons or daughters hooked on it, and then they're just whatever the kid wants, they get, right? They're shaking mom or dad's leg, saying, "Let's go to the racetrack. I want to see the number 1 car race," right? So it's a good way to kind of hook on to some fans and keep them coming back.
That was I'm going to be honest, that was my kids this summer when we went to Sauble. And actually, the coolest part about that was Corey McAllister came up into the grandstands. I was there recording a race day vlog with one of the drone media drivers, but Corey had come out and was handing out hero cards to every kid. And my boys went up, they grabbed one from him. And of course, when the next feature came around for the late models, I came back over, was sitting down with them to watch the feature, and they're like, "Oh, there's the car." And they started cheering for Corey, and I'm like, you know what? That's awesome. I love that they were doing that. So
yeah.
It's great when you can, you know, the different avenues you guys are able to come up with. After we're done, I do want to quickly talk to you about if you guys plan on doing it next year. I would like to help out, and I got an idea. So we'll talk after. But
yeah, cool.
That's not why we're here. We're here to talk about your championship season, winning some big races, and of course capping it off championship night by winning the race. What did that feel for you? Like, and if I remember correctly, there was even a points battle between you and Carson going into that final night.
Yeah, it was close. We would have had to have a bad night, and he would have had to have a good night, which is very common. He had good nights all year long. So yeah, that's all it really took, was if we had something go wrong with us and we finished towards the back and he had a good night, he would have claimed that championship. So thankfully I was able to have a good night. He ended up, I think 4th on that night. So we both still have good nights, but because we both had good nights, I was able to claim that championship. But I mean, a lot of people might not remember back how the year went. At the start of the year, I won the first race, as we spoke about. Carson won the second night. Carson won the third night. So I finished first the first night. He finished second. He finished first the first night, or the second night, and I finished second. So right, it was kind of a flip flop.
Yeah.
And the third race of the season, he won again, and I finished 6th. So he had the points lead at that point. And then on the 4th night, I won and he finished second, and I beat him to the line by maybe a foot. It was a photo finish at the end to kind of even up the series, I guess, if you will, right? He won 2, I won 2, kind of even it back up. He was still a points leader though, because at that point he had 2 first place finishes and 2 seconds, where I was 2 first, a second, and a 6th. So I got that second win, the 4th race of the season, but the second win for us. And I feel like that was really a game changer. And that was kind of just really shows our team and our grit and determination. And Carson made a really good move on me I led most of the race, and he made a really good move to get by me with 2 or 3 to go. And I was like, there's no way I'm letting this guy win another one. He's just won the last 2. Like, we have to get back into this fight, right? This is everything here. I got to find a way to get by him. I'm a clean racer, but I'm like, I got to find a way to get by him. And going into turn 1 and 2 on the last lap, I drove in there as hard as I could, and there was a chance I could have got to his bumper and tapped him. But he had the same thought. Oh, I better drive in here as hard as I can. And he drove in a little bit too hard, and he slid up the track about half a groove. And I could see him sawing on the wheel. The car was just pushing a bit, and I was able to get my car turned and got on the gas. And it looked like I had 100 more horsepower down the back straightaway, just because he was pushing and sliding out of control, where I was able to get the car turned and went in side by side through 3 and 4, and we kind of touched and rubbed just a little bit. It was the cleanest rubbing that I think you've ever seen. Like we were both smiling at the end. So there was that, but we just got into the line. And like I said, to me, that was kind of our team just saying, hey, no, we're in here. Because Carson's been the dominant guy in the super stocks the past couple of years. I mean, there's been 4 championship races he's ran in. He won both of them last year, won the Touring Series this year, and finished second in this championship battle this year. So he's 3 for 4. So I mean, we had to have that chip on our shoulder and that attitude that no, we gotta fight back, and we gotta flex the muscle here and get back into it. And we're able to, like I said, kind of even it up with 2 wins apiece, and then we just kept digging every week after we win a race. My car owner, we talk on the phone, and he'd say, well, that was a great race. Just leave the car in the trailer now. I was like, no, I'm making it better. He's like, you just won, just leave it in the trailer. I'm like, no, we can't be satisfied. And I know it seemed good, but I know there's a little more. And that's kind of how we went about it all year. We kept working hard. And that's how we knew it too. Similar conversation. My car owner called me the week before championship night and said, well, what do you got figured out? And I said, I went out to practice on Monday. I tried some things. I said, I'm bringing the best race car I can bring on Friday night, because you better believe that Carson Nagy and his team is going to do the exact same. So we got to have our best car and our best effort at the racetrack. And that's how we got here to be in this position that we're in, is we brought our best every single week. And that's what we did. One more time, bring our very best. And we were able to get it done one more time.
That is awesome, man. Cause like when you and Nagy put in so much time and effort into these cars, and it really goes to show when you guys are out there battling, good rubbing is racing. Reckon somebody ain't racing, but if you're rubbing, you're racing pretty good. And each one of you are trying to get the most out of your car in that area. And bringing everything you can championship night, and going like, we're going for it. Because you knew it. You said it yourself there. You knew Carson was going to be bringing the best he got.
100%.
So you needed to go match him plus some.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right?
100%. That was as I mentioned, I've always done the Touring Series and the Delaware Series for the past 3 or 4 years or whatever it's been. This year, when I sat on the sidelines and watched the Touring Series race at Delaware, I was actually at the track. My brother was racing his bone stock, so I was there supporting him. And I was sitting in the stands there vibrating a little bit, because that's my class. That's the class I've been in for all these years. How am I not a part of this, especially at Delaware? Like, I think we've raced there at Delaware. When we've raced in those races, we've won like around half of them, and the other ones we've led the most laps. Like, we've always been up front in those races. So it's hard to watch, right?
Yeah,
that night Carson won, and he was fast. That was with maybe 3 races left in the season. And at that point, we were close enough in points that something changed. If he had a couple good runs and I had a couple bad runs, it was his championship. So when I was sitting there watching that race, my wife was sitting there watching with me, and we're looking at lap times as he's out there running. And Maddie, my wife, looks, 20 flat. Well, yeah, you can do that. And I'm like, I can do that, but like, he's just run probably 35 out of 50 laps at 20 point. Like, he is consistently fast. Like, I know I've ran some faster laps than that before, but I mean, to run that many laps consistently that fast and to look as good as he does around the racetrack, and to know that my mom was texting me. She was in the pits with my brother. She says, "Oh, Carson's, they must be making some changes. This is happening," because she's watching. She's there as a mom. watching my brother and helping him, but she's also there as a valuable member of my pit crew. She's almost doing research. She's like, oh, let's see what the Nagys are doing, make sure they're not whatever. Like let's keep an eye on what's happening with them. And then when I went there to watch that race, like I was a bit nervous after that night. I was like, this championship is far from over. I cannot lay back at all. Like I got to keep bringing my best stuff because they just turned up the heat. Like I was a bit nervous, and we went to work and we kept working. We found a bit more, and I think they found some and then lost a bit. They made a weird adjustment that they couldn't quite figure out how to get back. But after that night, I was nervous because, like I said, they're a hardworking team and they want to win just as bad as we do. So we have to find a way to turn it up a little more.
Absolutely. I feel like we could sit here and talk for a full hour, and I would love to sit here and talk with you for a full hour. So we got to get you, we'll have to get you lined back up here on the podcast for next year for sure. And kind of go over more, talk about the season up and, and whatever else. But I got to thank you for taking the time to chat with us tonight. Before we let you go, we're going to let you have the floor for the next few minutes. Thank all your friends, all your family, all your sponsors, whoever you want to, but the floor is now yours for the next few minutes to thank whoever you want.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for having me tonight. Yourself and multiple other sources throughout Ontario make racing what it is by obviously covering all this racing news and just getting an inside scoop and an inside feel of what the drivers and teams go through every week. So big thanks to you guys for covering that and giving us a chance to tell our story and get to thank all these people that make it all happen. So I have to start off with thanking, so I'm going to start with my family. So I got to thank mom, dad, stepdad, my dad's girlfriend, Nancy, my wife, Maddie, couldn't do it without her, my brother, my uncle, he's always out here helping on the race car. Big thanks to Uncle Dinky for all the help on the car. And then I got to thank my pit crew, Mason Collver, Tanner Peary, Alan Gold, Daryl Stanley, Sue Jones. And then another huge thanks to the guys at McCall Racing, Joe Lawrence, Paul Giannoli, Terry Simpson, Mike McCall, and everyone else there who goes out of their way to help me with whatever they can. McCall Racing is a big reason why we have the success we do. Can't thank them enough. And then all the sponsors that make this car go around and go around as well as it does. Got to thank Inventory Express Lubricants, Carter Trucking, Hodgins Custom Service, MGV Concrete, DK Equipment, Wilds Printing, BRW Trucking, Donley's Cafe, Pizzeria and Tap House, Lux Holmes and Ahmed Wakas, Ali Hassan, J.O. Livestock, Novus Glass, London Northwest, Fix Auto, London Northwest, Mr. Transmission on Exeter Road, Dave Collver Auto Care, Melrose Raj, Collver Towing, Mark Kennedy Trucking, Outback Tire Shack, G&L Automotive, Hallmark Memorials, Quadro Communications. This race car is just as fast as Quadro Communications Internet all year long. Big thanks to them for jumping on board halfway through the season and becoming a part of our race team. Couldn't be happier to have them. Noramco and Wilds Printing. I'm not sure if I mentioned him or not at the start. Wilds Printing. And again, everyone, fans, friends who came out and supported us. Means so much to have everyone there supporting our team and cheering us on. And another huge thanks to Delaware Speedway for just putting on a top-notch race program all year long and allowing us racers to do what we do, and looking forward to doing a little bit more of the same next year.
All right, man. Well, like I said, thank you so much for joining us this week on the show. Like I said, we're gonna have to get you back on because there's no shortage. I feel like we've talked for a good amount so far. So like I said, we'll get you lined back up next year on the show for a full episode. How's that sound?
Awesome. Yeah, can't wait.
All right, man. Go enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
See ya. All right, that is going to wrap up our first part 1 of the Champions episode. Thank you so much for all the drivers who joined us this week. Stay tuned. We will have part 2 coming soon, and that one is a nice stack lineup of guests as well. We hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and as well as joemedia.ca. That's going to do it. I'm not keeping this short and sweet. So we'll see you guys next time on the True North Racing Podcast presented by Driving with Haley. See you guys.
Gas and feel the vibe, going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing, let's go.